So my purpose really in life is to change, to impact, to help as many young women as I can. My purpose is not to be a successful media entrepreneur or a successful blogger. I don't want to be, anybody can be a rich blogger. True success to me is not buying a house in Banana Island or driving a Range Rover or whatever. It's the lives that you change, the lives that you touch, the impacts that you make.
With about 33 million new blogs being created every month and over 60 million blogs on sites like WordPress.com, the world of blogging is undoubtedly a competitive space. For Linda Ikeji, this medium, which started out as a simple hobby, soon became the lifeline that would cement her dominance in the West African blogging world and earn her the accolade of the highest and most successful blogger in Africa's largest economy.
There were 7 children, my mom and my dad. It was a close-knit family. My mom, I don't go to church much these days, but growing up, my mom always insisted that we go to church. So every Sunday morning, whether I like it or not, you go to church. And it was really, I had a really good childhood because we were extremely very close.
So as the second child, usually the oldest tend to be quite almost second parents in the home. Did you find that you took on the role of taking care of your brothers and sisters, or were you quite free to find your own way?
8, 9, 10, 11, I was a free child, but as you grew older, you start to be a bit more aware of what is going on in your family. And so I realized earlier on that I really had to step up and help my younger ones. I think I realized when I was 17, and that was why I had to go find something to do to help my family, because we were struggling a lot back then, and I just knew that I had to. Midlife in secondary school, I started to look for how I could contribute, help my parents take care of all of us, and so I started looking for what to do, and then I got very lucky and I got into modeling.
So you were talking about what it was like to be brought up in your home. But one thing I noticed, you said from the age of 15, 16, you went into modeling.
No, actually 17.
From 17, you went into modeling?
Midlife in secondary school, yeah.
Okay, how did you find that passion? How did you realize it was something you could do?
Modeling wasn't a passion for me, it was just a means to an end. Like I said, it was really tough for us back then. My mom, my dad, my sisters, the situation was a bit dire, and I just needed to help them. I needed to help myself, I needed to help my siblings, and I started thinking of what I could do at 17. I just finished secondary school, and I was going to a computer school at the time, but I just kept thinking, what can I do? What kind of job? I actually was looking for a job. Fortunately for me, I heard about a modeling show, a fashion show happening in 1998, and they wanted girls between 18 and 26 to show up, and I was 17 plus, I wasn't 18 then, and I was like, you know what, because back then I used to think I was very pretty, so I was like,
you
okay.
are very pretty.
Oh, thank you. So I was like, okay, 18 to 26, I have to find out what this is about. I have to go try it out. And so I went with a friend of mine. I never heard of never knew what modeling was before then, never tried it out, never had absolutely no interest, wasn't something that I knew anything about. But because of the age, you said 18, 19, if you're a pretty girl, 18, 19, 18 to 26, come. And I was like, okay, I'm 18, let's go. So I went there, and then I was very fortunate, because I remember when I got there, there were like 500 and something girls, and half of them were already like top models at the time. And I don't know, I've always believed in myself and my abilities and in everything about me. So I waited, I went through the audition, and I wanted only 20 girls. And the girl that I came with left. She said, I'm not going through this. Look at us. And I wasn't very tall. I'm not very tall compared to the 5'11", 6'1" girls. And for some reason, I think that was basically what God wanted, my destiny in life. I was picked out of like 500 and something girls, and they were only 20, and I'd never modeled in my life before.
So the age of 17 going on 18 is quite a young, difficult stage in most young women's lives. And to go into modeling at that age is quite bold. It's quite a confident, I'm here to make a statement sort of move. Did you find that was the personality you had as a young girl? Were you quite in your face, loud, bold, confident, or were you more timid?
I was a bit. I was an extremely reserved person. I kept to myself a lot. I didn't make that many friends. I didn't have friends, a lot of friends growing up.
Yeah.
But I can say that I'm an extremely bold and confident person. But you don't really say it. But I talk to myself a lot about it, and I actually didn't. Like I said, I wasn't like a 2-year-old dreaming to be the next Naomi Campbell and anything. I didn't know what modeling was about. Desperation moved me to go into to do it, but I loved it after my first show. So growing up, I was very people who said will tell you that I was probably a little arrogant, but it wasn't arrogance. It was just I just like to keep to myself a lot because I think I'm an extremely creative person. I like to just think and write stuff down, and so I kept myself a lot, but it wasn't so that's who I was growing up.
So you were saying, I mean, someone who's very creative tends to be quite introverted, and you were writing from quite a young age.
Yes, I started writing very young.
How old were you?
I think I did a full book when I was like 11. I wrote a book. Yeah, I wrote a full book, inspired by all the other, the Drummer Boy and all of those things that I read growing up. So I wrote the book. I can't remember, but I can't remember the name of the book now. Probably Kim the Witch. So I think that's what I wrote, and then I gave it to my sisters to read. Those who agreed to read it, but it was from start to finish. So that was my true passion, writing.
Did you think that you wanted to develop that into a writer, or did you ever think it would become, the movement
was
that
my
you created?
dream. It was my dream to write. It was my dream to be I started like I wanted to write, and I was writing. I was the only one reading what I was writing, but I found that I found so much joy writing.
So was there ever an intention to go in front of the camera? Because, modeling obviously is quite out there. Writing is in the background, but with journalism and broadcasting, was there ever an intention to actually become a presenter or a news broadcaster at some point?
Funny enough, I think so. I think because, like I said, I was looking up to people like Abike Dabiri, Franco Lizzie, and they were in front of the camera. But it was more like to write. I didn't mind being the broadcaster or the one writing the news. I just wanted to be in that industry. But I really, really admired those people in the news.
After the break, we find out more about how the ever-resilient woman managed to overcome every obstacle against all odds. Ikeji is no stranger to the concept of hard work. From as early as 18, she had to fend for herself and go through school to support her family by doing several part-time jobs. Were you still modeling while you were writing?
Yes, of course I was modeling.
And then when you started your own magazine, what was that called?
Fashion, Modeling and Beauty magazine, FMB.
Right, so you literally took your column and made it into a publication?
Yes, and so I made it into a magazine, yeah.
How did that go? I never heard about the magazine.
Not that many people heard about it. Not that many people heard about it.
Okay.
So I started the magazine in 2006, and I did just 5 editions, just 5 issues before I gave up on it.
I see. Why did you give up?
I don't give up on things easily, but sometimes I'm like, you know what? It was too much.
I see.
It was too much. I was doing, so I started in 2006, late 2006 was my first edition. And then in 2007, I did 2. In 2008, I did 1. In 2009, I did 1. After 2009, I just realized that I couldn't keep up. I couldn't continue doing it. It was draining me. It was too much.
I understand that you also did a bit of waitressing. Is that correct?
No, I didn't do waitressing. I sold beer at a hotel for about a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I sold. Not like I sold, but I was basically introduced, it was a new brand, and I was at a hotel, and I was going to meet patrons, customers rather, to introduce the beer to them. And I had somebody, a waitress, who would say, if I go convince you to buy it, and if I convince you to buy it, then the person working with the waitress or waiter will bring the drink to you, and then,
so like activation.
Yeah, that was what I did at a hotel for a month. So I was good. I would leave school. I was in school then, but I was a hustler back then. I would leave school like around 1 and get there for 2, and I would do it till 10 every day.
Wow.
Until 10 o'clock, and I was paid 1,500 naira a day. Sorry.
Wow.
For a day, but that would help me and help my family too. So I had to do it.
Now you've taken a blog, just a simple Linda Ikeji blog, and you've created a monster empire from it. And literally, it is. I've not seen anything like it personally. I mean, I think there was a point where I think it was last year. You had now moved into your new home. And I think
2 years ago.
Is it 2 years ago?
My home.
God, I feel old.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And you put up that you had now moved into this very lavish, expensive home in a very, very affluent area in Nigeria, Lagos. And I'm still waiting for my dinner invitation. And I found that, I think I saw a news report afterwards where people were like, the number of blogs that were started that week after you announced your new home
thousands
was
of them.
Insane. Did you ever think that, creating a blog, lindaikeji.com, normal, I think it was a WordPress at that time.
Blogspot.com. In fact, it's still Blogspot till now.
Did you ever think it would amass such a huge following that, you've become an inspiration to so many young men and women, business people? Can you even fathom it? At what point did you realize this is really not a game? It's becoming very, very serious.
To be honest, if anybody had told me when I started the blog in 2006 that this was 10 years later, this is what it would become, I'll probably laugh at them. I absolutely didn't think that it was possible. It's absolutely didn't think. In fact, recently I was going through my stats, and I was just amazed at how far I'd come and how I was looking at my stats, and I saw 10 views. I went back to 2006. I spent like 4 hours on my stats looking at it, and I went back to 2006. 10 views, 15 views, 300 views, to 3,000 views, to 300,000 views, to 1 million. I'm like,
whoa.
It was a gradual growth. And then I got to 3 million, and I got to 4 million, and I was like, wow. Wow. And a lot of people say that she got lucky. I think, I had the first mover's advantage because I basically made a celebrity blogging popular. When I was doing, there was all these people you see now, they went around. But I really put a lot of my soul and my heart and hard work into it. I really, really, and I wasn't putting all that hard work into it because I was hoping to make money. That's what, when I go and talk to young people, I say passion. That's what will change your life. So I'm basically telling the story of how I discovered blogging.
Yeah.
A friend of mine from the UK called me and told me that she read about me on the internet, because before then all I did on the internet was send emails, and I didn't know that existed at the time. So I was like, she lived in the UK. Those Nigerians in diaspora were discovered in the internet before we did.
Yeah.
And she called me and said, I read about you. Oh, well done. I was like, read about me where? And I said, on the internet. I was like, where? What are you talking about? So she sent me a link to a story they wrote about me. So it was Bella Ninja. And so I opened it and I read it, and I was like, okay, what is this? I'd never seen anything like that before. And so I read it, and I read my story. I read the comments about myself. I was like, okay, who are these people? And there wasn't just me they wrote about other people. And I read about them, read their comments, and I was like, this is nice. What is this? And so this was probably June 2006. And I loved it. I loved that they wrote about me. I love reading about the other people they wrote about. I love the comments that came, and so the next day I went back there. I was like, what's going on? Let me see. And it was a small community, and it was a really fun place to be. And so I kept going there every day. And then one day I was looking at the blog, and I was like, I wish this was mine. Like, I wish I was the one writing this for people to read. This has always been what I wanted. And one day in November, I just Googled how do you start a blog of your own, and they said 3 minutes. 3 minutes to just start a blog. I was like, okay, so my dreams can come true in just 3 minutes. So I just started it in November 2006, like 5 months after I discovered it.
Mm-hmm. So you started the blog. At that point, what was the vision? What was the plan? How did you want it to look? Was you planning to be a competitor of Bella Naija, or was you planning to continue the fashion and style, beauty elements?
There was absolutely no plan.
Seriously?
Absolutely, I wasn't in competition with anyone.
Okay.
It was just something that I loved, and I just opened one. And I remember the first night I said, hi, my name is Linda. The first post was, hi, my name is Linda, I'm 26. There was absolutely no plan. Like I didn't open it thinking in 10 years it would be great, I'll make so much money. I didn't even know that was even possible. I wasn't in competition with anyone. At the time, Bella Naija was doing lifestyle and weddings, and she wasn't doing gossip. Or there wasn't really any popular gossip blogs at the time. It was very personal blogs. People were talking about husbands and kids and work and things that happen in their lives. So it was very personal. That was why I actually used my name, because back then it was really personal. People were using their names, whatever.blogspot.com. And so I was like, okay, Linda Ikeji.blogspot.com. If I was looking at it like a business, I would have used some business name. Yeah. So I just used it was my personal blog where I was sharing my own personal stories.
Every entrepreneurial journey is laced with adversities and challenges, and they can come in all shapes and sizes at any point in time. And following the success of her blog, with millions and millions of followers pouring in by the day, controversial fights began. And this was with the most powerful people in media, politicians, corporates, with the eventuality of Google shutting down Ikeji's blog for apparently violating its policies.
October 9th, 2014, the day my blog was shut down. My blog was shut down because of some people that I was having issues with on social media, or somebody, not some people, somebody who had a personal vendetta against me, and he kept saying, I'm going to shut your blog down, I'm going to shut your blog down. And I thought he didn't have the power because I was being hosted by a blogger, so how are you going to shut my blog down? And he kept telling people, watch out, watch out, watch out. And then back then I had a lot of haters. They were like, yes, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? And this is something I had built for 8 years, and somebody was threatening to shut it down. And then I was blogging. I remember I was blogging with the only guy who was working with me at the time, my staff. And then I posted something, it didn't go through, but I didn't understand it, so I continued working. Then my sister came down from her room and said, what happened to your blog? What happened to your blog? And I was like, what are you talking about? I said, it's no longer, it's been removed. And then I clicked on it and I saw this blog has been removed. And I was like, what? And then I went on Twitter and saw that I was trending already. And the guy was gloating. I told the guy I'm going to take her blog, and I did. And I started reading comments because I was number one trending topic. And I started reading comments, and I saw that, there were lots of people who were sad by it, but there were a lot of people who were happy over it. And they were like, yes, the blog is gone, the blog is gone. And I just felt sorry for them, not for myself, because I knew that they didn't know who they were dealing with. They knew who they were dealing with. They were like, no, you can't get this girl. You can get me down temporarily, but you can't keep me down. That's never going to happen. And then everybody in my room was panicking because this was the source of income. And everybody was panicking. I was like, calm down. I was calming everybody. I said, calm down. Calm down. We're going to find a way to resolve it. So that's the worst experience I've had with blogging. Mm-hmm. But it lasted for just 2 days, and we moved on. And it's been great since then.
With the true spirit of a survivor, Ikeji did not give up throughout the storm. She didn't throw in the towel, but instead, with every new challenge, her resolve to achieve became even bolder and stronger. Obviously, I've looked at your journey and it sounds amazing. It is amazing. It sounds almost unrealistically easy. Now, when you look though at the details, because we have to dig, there's a lot of controversies you've been involved in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of backlash you've got. It's not writing gossip and stuff. A lot of people think it's fun. You go to these amazing events.
No.
There's a lot of controversies.
Yeah.
How How did you cope? How did you do it?
You know, like I tell people, every job has its hazards.
Yes.
And mine is people clapping back and
Yeah.
trashing me and trying to say all kinds of negative things about me. But like I said, I have a really thick skin, and I learned that growing up because of my experiences, the things that I experienced growing up. I lived in a place where at a certain time you really cannot be walking alone by yourself.
Yes, I'm thinking,
Yeah,
well, you're not afraid
I
for your
did.
life at points.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, you just know that there's a places you should avoid. I lived in
Okay.
Ikeji. They have a lot of notorious streets in that area. So there were a lot of things that I experienced, a lot of things that I saw, a lot of things that I heard that, you know, that molded me into the woman that I became, or that I am, you know. So, and I know the sacrifices that I've made. I know the things that I've been through. I know the things, people that I have helped. I know the things that I've said no to. I know the woman that I am. So, and I'm confident in the woman that I am. I love the woman that I am. And so it's really difficult for you to hurt me with words.
Yes.
I'll just look at like, really, please. It is so difficult for you to help me with words, especially if I don't know you or care
Yeah.
for you. You know, so a lot of the backlash and the trashing was from social media users and from celebrities and from people that I write about. They would write, I'll be like, oh yeah, right, whatever, I'll move on to it. And I enjoyed my job so much that I just felt it was just one of those things that you have to deal with, you know. So sometimes, of course, sometimes I let loose and clap back and get mad, and you know, because I'm only human. But most of the time, I just deal with it the best way I can, and which is know that what they think or what they say doesn't define me. That's not, because sometimes I used to trend a lot those days. I haven't trended in a long time, but those days I was just trending. I would reach all the things.
I've seen you trend recently.
Recently.
Sometimes.
Recently.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the last one was with probably some weeks ago with one guy. But before then, because I check, I'm always on the Twitter. I haven't trended in a while. Back then, I used to trend like at least every month. There would be
Really?
something, somebody, and then when I read the comments, a lot of it was negative.
In the wake of a very difficult rise to success, Ikeji believes that giving back is of the utmost importance, and her primary focus are young girls who are being lured by the several temptations of making it big, just like she did. For her, she believes by taking the shortcuts, it invariably prevents them from achieving their fullest potential. So her goal, through her philanthropic work, is to make sure she educates these young girls that there is no such thing as a shortcut to riches. I noticed that, you know, in amongst all the amazing work that you're doing, you've taken the role of philanthropy very, very, very much to heart, especially for young women. Now, you have a project that you're working on called Self-Made.
Yeah.
You started a while back and then you've now really amped it up.
Yeah.
Explain to us, what is Self-Made about? What is the vision and what is the impact you're hoping to achieve?
Well, it's called I'd Rather Be Self-Made, and you know, I was a student of the University of Lagos, and I was also a model. And in school and that industry, I saw a lot of things that young girls were subjected to. Pimps would come to school with buses and carry girls and go sell them to, not sell, I mean, go give them to those men and come back with money. And then in modeling, I saw people arranging models to go give to big men and for money. And I knew early on that that was never going to be my life. I wasn't going to be one of those girls, never ever. And so I used to really feel sad for those girls who would tell you they have no choice because they have to take care of themselves, or they have to have families to take care of. But I was like, I'd rather go and sell beer in a hotel than go and sleep with one man for that amount. It's not going to happen. And so, but like I said, I saw it, and I saw what, my goodness, I can't even say some of the things. It was, especially in the modeling industry, the things that I saw that girls had to do for 10,000, for 20,000, for 50,000. And then you know, like the things that young girls as young as 18 had to do, you know. And I was like, if I ever find myself in a position where I can help these girls, I'll help them rather than see them continue to live that kind of life. So I'd rather be self-made. I'd rather work hard and get money on my own, achieve success on my own terms instead of sleeping with men for money. That was basically, I think I was like 19 when I decided I didn't know what I was going to call it, but I knew that one day if God blessed me, I would help these small girls doing all of these things. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, these small girls, may God just help me. That was what I was thinking. And then, you know, when I started making money of my own, and I was able to share and give to other people.
In life, no two journeys are the same. Adversity is inevitable, but difficulties or misfortunes don't have to keep you from achieving your intended goals or finding the happiness that you seek in business or in life. And that is what makes Ikeji's journey exceptionally remarkable. With every challenge, she successfully conquers it. But not only does she do that, it serves to strengthen her will and her resolve to achieve, her confidence, and therefore her ability to confront future obstacles and continue achieving against all odds.
My purpose, to be honest, and I believe in it and I'm living it, is to change as many lives as possible that I can as Linda Ikeji.